Recording in progress.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
All right. Got some more speeches to hear today. I hope you're ready for those. Let's see who we have left. We have group 2, 3, and 5. Does that sound right to everybody?
Yep.
All right. Let's clean some things up here. Well, first of all, let me see who's here. Is Delfino here?
Hello,
Yes.
I'm here.
Okay, Moya,
Here.
Caleb? No, Caleb? Cassidy? And Camille? All right, over to group 3. Do we have Bridget?
Yes.
Professor, I'm sorry to interrupt, but group 7 hasn't presented yet as well.
Thank you.
And group 1. Sorry, I meant to say group 3.
All right, just a minute. That one. I don't mean to start out grumpy, but when I start by asking, are those the groups that are going today? And everybody says yes. And then there are 2 groups that aren't on there. I get grumpy. All right, Now, where was I? Bridget was here. Brianna, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Dio, are you here?
Yes.
Aster?
She said she was in the waiting room.
I don't see anybody in the waiting room. Oh, there are some people hiding over there. Okay.
Hello, Professor. I just joined the class.
Who are you?
I'm Luis.
Have I marked you absent yet?
Luis? I don't think so.
Oh, okay, then don't worry about it. All right, group 5, is Sal here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Joaquin,
I'm here.
Delani,
I'm here.
Stephanie,
Here.
and there's Louise. Okay.
Here.
Yeah. So what order is your order now with Sawani in the mix?
She could probably just go last.
She is fourth.
And then
I'm
Stephanie.
last.
Yeah.
Stephanie's last, yeah.
Got it. Okay. Now over here to group 7. Kristen, are you here?
Yes.
How about Kanani?
I'm here.
Caesar?
Here.
Julia?
Here.
Angel?
Here.
And let's see. Oh, I've got this one twice. Okay. Now have Caleb, Yatsidi, or Camille come in. All right. And this is where we're at. Any changes to any of this? Going once? Going twice? All right, which group wants to go first?
Professor, can we go first? Actually,
I was about to ask that actually.
Well, I don't know who either of you are that are speaking.
Aster speaking. I was gonna ask if you could go first. For
And
group
who was
3.
the- and who was the other person?
Group
Wait a minute,
two.
wait a minute. Group 2 wants to go first and group 3 wants to go first.
We'll be
I'm
super
going,
quick. There's only 2 of us.
I know, I'm looking at it, same as you are. I'm going to let group 3 go first because I don't want to give Caleb, Yazidi, or Camille zeros if they come in late. And that's what will happen.
Okay.
Okay. So that's my reasoning behind that. I hope that makes sense to everybody. In fact, I mean, since they were here last week, I may put you guys off until Wednesday. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to give everybody a shot at doing these speeches who at least have, been in touch, let me know they're interested in doing them. Okay. So group 1, are you ready to review group 3?
Yes, we are.
All right. All right, Dio, start getting nervous. Hang on, it's taking me a second here, get this all together. There you are. All right, now to find you over here. And I'm ready when you are.
I'm trying to see if my camera's working right now.
Who was speaking? That wasn't Dio.
Okay, my camera's working right now.
Oh, that's Aster. I thought Dio was going first.
No, I had the introduction.
Okay, hang on. Let me change things up over here.
All right.
Okay, I'm ready when you are.
All right. Hello, class. My name is Aster, and Team Amethyst is going to be talking about mental health. Dio is going to be talking about the stigmas, the history of mental health. Brianna is going to be talking about the 21st century mental health. Oh no, that's Bridget. Sorry. Bridget is going to be talking about the stigmas in the 21st century of mental health. Brianna is going to be promoting awareness of the mental health, and I'm going to be talking about the help we can find to get to where we need to do to help ourselves, really. 50% of all the serious lifetime mental illness begins around age 14 and increased by 75% by age 24. Today, if you think talking about mental illness is scary, it is not, because if you don't talk about it, no one will really know if you need the help or not, because for a lot of people, they don't really understand you more than you understand yourself. Now, I'm going to be turning it on to Dio, who will be talking about the history and hopefully help you be more aware of how far this really has been a big problem.
So, hi, I picked history and I'm going to be going over some of the development that mental health has gone throughout it. And we're going to be going over some of the things that were considered mental illness, as well as what was believed to have caused the mental illness, what methods were used to cure it, as well as whether some of these methods actually worked or are still used today. So maybe after this, we can actually thank whatever you believe in, that we were born post the discovery of psychology. So what was considered mental illnesses? So there's a lot of things that are actually mental illnesses that could have been considered mental illness right back then, but it was usually things that showed more physical manifestations like schizophrenia. And LGBTQ people were also considered mentally ill for being LGBTQ for a while, until about 1973 when it got removed off the mental illnesses. Then there's actually hysteria, which was only found in women, and it was caused by extreme emotion. So what do people think this mental illness was caused by? For a lot of history, they believe that it was caused by supernatural things like demons or working with the devil or displeasuring gods or sinning or being cursed. So Then in Chinese culture, it was believed that it was caused by an imbalance of your yin and your yang, and you had to balance it in order to like get better. And in 400 BC, a belief that actually stuck around for a long time was the Greek belief that it was caused by an excess of one of your 4 essential fluids, usually that fluid being blood. So what methods were used to cure the mental illness, and what did some of these methods work, or why they were believed to work? Around 1670s to about the 18th century, there was madhouses or asylums, and these were terrible, mistreated a lot of patients, and that's probably because they weren't regulated up until 1774. They pretty much just put you in a building outside of society and let other people take care of you, but you were really just being mistreated. There's also exorcisms, and these were for the more supernatural causes. Then if you were believed to be working with the devil, and that's why you're mentally ill, there was sometimes witch trials, which just ended in execution because there's no way to prove you're not like a witch. And there was also hysteria in women, and this was actually cured by dildos or aromatherapy. And LGBTQ people were sent to conversion therapy, and there was a whole bunch of other methods involved, but that's pretty much the basic general idea of it, was that you were going to be forced to be heterosexual or cisgendered or etc. Then there was bloodletting. This belief stuck around probably due to the Greeks' belief that it was one of the 4 fluids that was being excess. So if you cut like yourself and you let the blood flow out, the idea was that it would regulate and then you wouldn't have an excess and you'd be cured. But this really just caused a lot of like diseases. There was also a triplination, which actually was in 6500 BC. We don't know a lot about it, but pretty much they would drill a hole in the back of your head, and I'm not sure that worked. But there was also lobotomies in the 1930s, and these do technically work and are still used, but only in extremely rare cases and only as a last resort, due to the fact that there was a lot of complications and it's not like a very popular method anymore. There's psychotherapy as well, and this does work and is used today. There's psychoactive drugs, which is narcotics, opioids, or depressants, or stimulants, or hallucinogenics, and these can work, but should only be taken with like a doctor telling you you should take these. There's electroconvulsion therapy, which is actually not as scary as it sounds, and it's usually very light shocks, and this can work and is still used today. And antipsychotic drugs that popped up in the 1950s, but these actually technically didn't work. They just were really good at hiding some of the symptoms that were caused by mental illness. In conclusion, this is the end of our segment in history, and we've gone over what was believed to have caused it, as well as what was considered mental illness, and what was some of the methods that were used to cure it, and why people believe some of these worked or whether they did work. Good luck to you all with the more modern methods, and hopefully no one in 100 years thinks that we're crazy for our own. I'm going to be passing it on to Brianna with the more modern stigmas now. Thank you.
Are you ready for me?
No, I'll let you know. Let me point out to everybody, one, I will let you know when I'm ready for you. And two, what's happening here on the back end is I am at least finishing up their notes on their conclusion and exit after they do them. And then I have to, and there's usually more, I can't usually get everything in, especially for these shorter speeches. And then I got to go back over here and find you on the, in the, shoot, I should have done that. Find you over here on Zoom and get rid of Dio and try to find Miranda, which is what I'm doing now. So, like I say, there's a lot happening back here. And I can't find Miranda. Where are you? Say something. Who's next?
Brianna.
Oh, Brianna.
Yeah.
I'm looking for Miranda. Okay. Brianna M.
Right.
And I got to go back over here and find you on the list to grade you. So all of that is happening back here. And now I'm ready when you are.
Hello class, I'll be talking about the stereotypes to raise awareness to the false narratives about mental health in the 21st century. So I'll be starting with cultures and religion. So stating back to what Dio said about demons, some cultures still believe in that, some cultures don't believe that there's mental health illnesses. They believe that it's demons all around. They'll always have a supernatural explanation on the mental health, which that is not true. There is mental health, but that's some religions, they believe in that. So now continuing over to cultures, gender roles. Gender roles is very gender roles plays a part in like the community, the Hispanic communities, and that's because men cannot show emotions and some women can't due to historical reasons. And then we're moving on to movies and social media stereotypes on mental health. So there's a movie that I have down is Silver Lining. Silver Lining is about two couples who represent different mental health illnesses, and they like want to start dating and become official, but they cannot because due to everyone perceiving them as crazy. So they end up not being together. And then I have another movie called Joker, the new one that recently came out like 2 years ago. It's basically trying to open awareness about mental health, but instead it perceives it as being violent, which that doesn't necessarily mean, mental health doesn't necessarily mean it's violent. And then we have social media, people like joking around about other people's mental illness on social media and telling them to take meds or go get help, which what if they are taking meds and getting help? So people do not know what's going on behind social media platforms or the screen. So that happened. And by taking medication, that's optional. You don't need to take medication for your mental health. Then we have general stereotypes such as labeling people as unreliable and unwell, which is not true. When this happens, people cannot get jobs, or people will start looking at them differently because they think they're unwell and unreliable. When mental health doesn't mean you're unwell, it just means you don't function regularly like the other people in society because you have some setbacks of anxiety, depression, schizophrenia, disabilities and stuff like that. And then we have psych wards. People say that psych wards is a crazy house, but not really. Psych ward is like a rehab center, but for those who think of taking their lives or they're not mentally stable, they go there to get help and support they need for their mental health to function in society with their mental health. And this leads to my last point, medication, which medication can be medication can be prescribed to you at the at the psych ward, which psych ward is now called a mental health institution, where you could admit yourself if you feel unwell. So they give you medication depending on the diagnosis that they found. And then the stereotype there is that people don't want to take it because of the side effects, which side effects will not make you feel yourself for a couple of days, but then you'll feel yourself again. So next is family saying you don't need it, which is not true, because they don't know, they wouldn't know your reason on why taking medication. And then you don't need to listen to them, because we are all human and no one's perfect. Next is Bridget for promoting mental health. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Bridget, and today I'm going to be talking about the positive effects of spreading mental health awareness including social progress and sensitivity to mental illness in today's world. In the 21st century, mental health awareness is at an all-time high due to the recent prioritization of mental health. Mental illness is a disability that affects people of every class, color, and creed. Society has come a long way since the 20th century in regards to how we view mental health. There has been a myriad of campaigns online, on television, and in print, resulting in the general public's heightened awareness on these issues. For instance, the Trevor Project is a nonprofit organization that focuses on suicide prevention for the LGBTQ+ community. Another example is the designations of month and September as mental health awareness and suicide prevention months, respectively. Moving on to a topic that we've all gotten to know for the past 2 years, COVID-19. Pandemic depression is a real thing, and pandemic depression has been at the forefront of the general public's mind since nearly everyone has either been personally affected or was forced to follow some sort of isolation or social restrictions. In today's pandemic world, a lot of us have had our mental health affected. So along with awareness on mental health comes a demand for better healthcare and mental illness resource and mental health resources, specifically those that are funded by the government so that the general public all has access to it. Despite progress with mental health awareness and thanks to the informative campaigns, the responsibility to stay informed and educated is our own. So when we are informed and educated, it just becomes that much easier to support and accept our peers that are suffering, and also ourselves. So I believe that today's world can be a much better place when society collectively uses its power and influence to advocate and raise awareness for mental health. Thank you. Last but not least, after talking about mental health resources.
And I'm sorry, who's up next?
Esther.
Oh, Asta, there you are.
It's weird looking at my face right now. All right, so let us dwell on where to look for the help that we need for our mental health and to make sure that we get the help that we need to better ourselves and to show that we are not doing this alone and you can do this with the help. The suicide helpline is one of the things that is a great way to ask for help, because in case you feel like you're lost, you don't feel like you have anyone else to talk to, they are a place where you can at least go to vent to your feelings, and at least you have someone to listen to you, because at least then you know that there are people who want to hear your problems and want to hear the pain you're probably going through at the moment. Sorry, right now my anxiety is picking up right now.
Okay, stop and breathe. Just, I hear you. All right. Breathe. You know this. If you have anxiety, breathe. That's it. That's it. Wait until you're together again. Don't jump into it. Just take your time.
And I just took a medicine 3 hours ago too, so that's kind of funny.
Keep breathing. That laughter is breathing. It's your body trying to breathe. Deeper. I can see it right over the screen. That's the most shallow breathing I've ever seen.
When I breathe deeper, people think I'm actually losing it. So I'm just like, nope, I'm not
Go ahead and do it. We were, now that you've told us.
losing it. I just breathe deeply for a reason. All right.
There you go.
All right. So another place you can get help is actually schools. yes, there's not really a lot of schools who actually have the help centers, but a school like Elac that we go to, they have help centers to actually help find you what you need. So in case you might need a psychiatrist, a therapist, someone you can go to see if you can actually figure out like if there's something actually wrong with you, because when people think that there's something wrong with them, they think that they're the problem and that it's not really something else, an external source that's actually causing the situations that they're in right now or how they're feeling, without them knowing how to really describe it or how to really put it into words. Another one thing that we also never really think about, because of course with family you don't really know no one really knows their situation with family, whether it be their relationship wise, or that maybe family is the reason why some people have the ways have what they have, because family can cause situations for people, but it can also help, because there will always be that family member who will always be there to help you find what you need, either through maybe their medical insurance or otherwise. So you have a lot of you have a lot of options to really help you get to what you need. And if you can't feel like you can't talk to family, look to the internet or anyone else who probably has been going through the same thing you have and wants to know where you can go find the help that you need, that you don't have to feel like you can ask anyone if you're not that comfortable. Getting the help for mental health is something that should be looked into more, because there's a lot of people that are being untreated for mental health, and then also probably be living on the streets. If we don't get the help they need, then how do we help us in general? Even with the technology today, we can find so many centers and numbers. There's even places downtown LA that actually have health centers where if you don't have insurance, they can find a way to help you, that you can still find a way to get the help you need if you don't have really a provider or using Medicare from the government's help. Mental illness is not to be taken lightly, due to the fact, mental health shouldn't be taken lightly, because if you don't know what you have and you're in a situation where you feel very scared and vulnerable, and it causes like trouble for you or a disruption suddenly in your personal life, work, friends, if at school, you always feel like there's something wrong with you, and there's not, because when you find the help, like when you talk to a psychiatrist or a therapy and you explain to them your situation, you explain to them how you've been feeling, your family, in case like anyone else in your family has maybe the same thing like mental illness, that it could be a genetic situation. If you feel like you can't get the help, that is not true, because you can get the help, and that the reason why you're here today is because life still believes in you, and you should also believe in yourself. So how we tie this down is we can go to Dio to wrap this all up, and you should remember that you yourself are important, because if you weren't, you wouldn't even be here today. All right, thank you so much, guys.
All right.
Wait, I stepped into the conclusion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get back over there. Who's doing the conclusion?
Dio?
Uh, Let's find Dio here.
Okay, so hopefully we've been able to bring some information or help you become more informative with mental health. But obviously, there's still a lot more to be said. We're still going to have to end it here. After me going over some of its history, Brianna moving on to the more modern stigmas, Bridget going through the more positives and helping educate, and coming in last but certainly not least, Aster coming with ways to help you find help or stuff like that. So we do hope that we're able to shed some light on mental health, and that maybe we can even help comfort you during these times, because it's been rough for a lot of us. And for those of you who are looking for help or will look for help or are receiving help, we do hope that you reap its benefits. And for the rest of you who maybe think you don't need help, that's 100% fine and it's okay. However, it is important to note that anyone, majority of our population, if not all of our population, can benefit from things like therapy. Thank you.
In progress.
I'm sorry, what? Somebody talking to me? No, okay. My internet's a little laggy today. All right, let's see, who's up next? Did I see Caleb come in, by the way? Caleb, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
How about you, Titi? And Camille? Okay, group 2. What do you want to do? I know you wanted to go first. I made you
Yeah.
hold off to see if people come in late.
Can we just go Wednesday?
Okay.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right. So who's it going to be? Group 5 or group 7?
Group 5. This is Stephanie speaking.
Oh, good. You're speaking for your own
Yeah,
group.
we're going.
Yeah, we're gonna go. We cannot wait till Wednesday no more. It's too.
Every once in a while, I get somebody who volunteers another group, by the way.
Oh, really? Group 7? I'm just kidding.
That's actually kind of funny when it happens. All right. So is Luis the start for your group?
Yeah, but I'm doing an introduction.
And you're doing an introduction and you're doing
Yeah.
the speech, right? Okay.
I'm doing number 3. This is Joaquin, by the way. This is not Luis.
Oh, okay. Joaquin is doing the intro.
Yeah.
And speech number 3, but I got it. Okay. Let me find Joaquin, get you ready to go.
Hello, everybody. I represent Group 5. Our topic for today is our favorite vehicles and forms of transportation, both fictional and real. Our first speaker today is Luis, who is speaking on bullet trains. Our second is Saul. He's speaking on classic trains, followed by me, Joaquin Davis, speaking on the ectomobile. Fourth, we have Sony, who is speaking on the flying Ford Angela. And finally, we have Stephanie Quinones speaking on her mom's car. Please give a warm welcome to Luis.
Hello, good morning, class. Thank you, Joaquin. Go ahead, Professor.
You're ready to go.
Okay. Good morning, class. My name is Luis. And today I'm going to be talking about bullet trains, also known as high-speed rail. And in order to do that, we must first go back to 1945, when the U.S. had an extensive rail system. So during that time, big companies in the oil and automobile industry decided to gather up and plan that it was time to phase out of the rail and into automobiles. So then they began to buy up all the city buses, the ones that I used to use back in the days that people used to use, and it was on a rail. You probably seen them. So then they started buying them all up. They started dismantling them, and then eventually in 10 years, they got rid of the whole system. So then by the 1950s, President Eisenhower signed a bill that would implement 41,000 miles of highway all across the United States. And as you would expect, America became a big powerhouse, and it became heavily influenced in the car culture. But now we face, there's a problem with that. The United States is reaching a breaking point. There's too many roads, and a lot of times we find problems that states are running out of space to run. They're running out of space to expand their highways. Then also we have a lot of aviation congestion. We became a society that also became dependent on flying, and because of that, there's so much flying everywhere. Maybe not as much because COVID, but we're basically almost getting there again. Then of course, this is where high-speed rail will come in handy. Then it's proven that wherever there's a bullet trains or high-speed rail, people will use them. When people start using them, we're obviously going to see an immediate drop in emissions. And obviously, this is helpful because we're in a problem where global warming is a thing. Then we have to immediately start using our gas and fossil fuels. Then also, like as a rule of thumb, generally when there's a flight that's 4 hours long and it's from city to city, it's always business related, and it occupies around 80 to 90% of the market. So with the implementation of a bullet train or a high-speed rail, you literally get similar speeds, because once you account all the traffic that you have to drive from the airport, and once you get out, you gotta drive from there. And as you know, there's a lot of traffic sometimes at airports. So it almost adds up to about the same time that a high-speed bullet train will take you. Then, obviously, another big thing about bullet trains that will benefit us is that it'll help communities that are limited with due to transportation. It'll help them get from city to city like never before. Cities will be connected, obviously, like never before. They'll be able to go back and forth at affordable rates. They don't have to buy plane tickets. They could just go to the high-speed rail or bullet train and just go wherever they have to in a matter of hours. Then our only option that we have is the Amtrak. Then it's not the worst, but it's obviously not the best when you compare it to other countries like China, Japan, or European countries. For example, the Amtrak on average runs about 100 miles per hour, and the bullet trains average around 200 miles per hour. So that's basically almost double the speed. Then as well, there's the Amtrak. I don't know if you've been inside one, but they're fairly noisy. Then there's the bullet train, just a much smoother ride, because they're just so advanced. And overall, the bullet train is great. There are projects currently being done in Texas and as well as California, but sometimes because the lack of funding and the lack of exposure, it's not really getting done fast. Then just overall, if the US were to fully implement it, it could be revolutionary for us. For example, a lot of times when young adults or college students obviously going to school, there could be pressure for them to buy a car. Then once you have a car, you gotta worry about insurance. Then so it's just something you gotta be worried about. But if you have high-speed rail, you could just use that to get to college every single day. It's a 5, to maybe 10-minute consistently every single day. So you want to have the pressure of having to have a car, or maybe buying a car from a dealership that can be also obviously expensive. Then it would you wouldn't need to have a job because of that. So then with high-speed rail, you won't always have to need a car, and it'll just help alleviate a lot of pressure off. So overall, I hope I get some exposure out there about high-speed rail. Then hopefully the states finish up the projects and catch up to the rest of the world. All right, thank you, class. And up next is Saul.
Am I ready to go or?
No, hang on just a second here.
All right.
Like I said, I'll tell you when I'm ready for you. Right now I got to change chairs because the chair I'm sitting in is not working for me. That's a little better. All right.
All right,
Now,
ready to go.
let's see who's up next.
Saul?
So there you are. And I'm ready when you are.
All right, hey everyone, good morning. My name is Saul Lavina. My favorite form of transportation is actually the train system or just a regular train. I'm pretty sure you guys have all been on a train before or seen a train. The first reason it's my favorite form of transportation is because it's really unique and like the experience is different. So I feel like when you're so accustomed to your like daily routine, you're so like used to seeing the same things over and over again that you don't really get to see like the real world. And when you go out on a train, you get a whole new experience. You see a whole bunch of new people. It's kind of like a mind opener. You just see like people you want to be like, or not be like, but like you see role models. You see like the bad in people. You see homeless people. Kind of just like a mind opener. The second reason it's my favorite form of transportation is because it's really easy to access and like easy to navigate. Not everyone can afford a car. Gas prices have been really expensive. So I feel like if you really need to go somewhere, you're just trying to take advantage of public transportation, the train system is a really good way to do that. You can pretty much go anywhere. If you go to Union Station, you can go to like Hollywood, you can go to Santa Monica. You can pretty much go anywhere you'd like, and it's really convenient. So I'd really recommend it. The third reason, my favorite reason for it being my favorite form of transportation is because it gives me like a nostalgic feeling. Before I drove a car, me and my friends would go out to like places everywhere. We'd go to the park. We pretty much go everywhere on train. And so every now and then I go on the train and it brings back memories. So it's a really nice way to like, just like, it's a nice experience. So I really recommend for anybody that doesn't own a car or just wants to go somewhere, take the train. It's really nice. Thank you guys for listening. Up next, Joaquin will be speaking next.
Hello, I'm Joaquin Davis. Imagine this. You're in New York. You hear a weird siren approaching. Suddenly, around the corner, an antique ambulance blasts around the corner. It looks so unique and recognizable. No wonder the Ghostbusters became so popular. My favorite vehicle is the Ectomobile from Ghostbusters. It was originally envisioned by Dan Aykroyd in the first drafts of the script of the movie as jet black, with a more futuristic ability to dematerialize, to disappear, to escape the police. It was also originally meant to be haunted in the first drafts of the script. Thankfully, that was scrapped in favor of. The vehicle is a 1959 Cadillac Miller Meteor with an aftermarket ambulance conversion. It is painted white with red highlights, along with its signature No Ghost logos and an assortment of equipment adorning the car. It's used as the main form of transportation for the Ghostbusters as an essential part of the business. Its roof is adorned with many devices useful to busting, such as the muon scrubbers, a GPS, high-intensity microphones, and EMF scrubbers. The muon scrubbers are used for finding and tracking ghosts, which are largely made up of muon, an unstable negative subatomic particle with a mass 200 times greater than an electron. EMF scrubbers are also presumably used for this same purpose, as the negatively charged energy given off by the muons would be easily detectable through magnetic fields. So imagine this, they're trying to track a ghost. They would look for the muons with the muon scrubber. Later versions also installed a large muon trap, in contrast to the handheld units for ghost capture. Inside the vehicle, there's enough room for at least 3 in the front seat, as well as 2 seats in the back. There are plenty of systems used for operating the equipment on the roof, as well as an ambulance rack for storage of the proton packs. As a side note, the particle throwers are accelerators that positively charge ions in a stream, which counteracts and attracts the ghost's muon and ensnares them for capture. In conclusion, I gave a short but pointless speech about the Ecto-1, one of the most easily recognizable vehicles in film history. I covered its history, what it looks like, and its equipment in a brief explanation on how it works. Up next is Sony. Have fun busting.
can I go or?
Just a minute, just a minute. I'll let you know. Okay, I'm ready when you are.
Okay. My name is Swanee, and I'll be talking about the four Angelia from Harry Potter. I don't know which transportation is the best for everyone, but I do know a good transportation, a vehicle for transportation. It's the four Angelia from Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I never seen any Harry Potter movies, only the first two, and I really like the car. What it could do, of course, you could drive it. You could fly it, and there's an option where you could turn it invisible and visible. And the benefits, since you could fly it, you could go any destination you like, pretty easy and pretty fast. You don't have to be stuck in traffic or wait for like a plane or like a train. And I pretty sure, and the car could drive itself, and you don't have to like worry about where to go, or and I I really wish the car existed. And I'll be give it to Stephanie. Thank you.
Stephanie was next, is that right?
Yeah.
All right, there
Okay.
you go.
Okay. Okay. Hello, everybody. My name's Stephanie, and I'll be talking about my mom's car room. I don't know if you guys remember that Vine that came out with the girl who was like, I'm in my mom's car. Anyway, she drives a beat up Toyota Camry. It's a 2002 and it's white. The color and the paint is chipping off and everything. And it is a little old, but it's economical and it takes us to where we want to go. It's my favorite because that car isn't that big and it's not that small. And I am a little tall. I'm 5'8". I look huge right now. I could touch my ceiling. But yeah, that car is like how Goldilocks would say, just right for me. It's a 4-cylinder car, which means that, well, right now gas is really expensive. So I don't cry as much as I used to, but I still cry. But the gas stays there longer because it's a 4-cylinder, as to another one that has more, you know. They people view cars as environmentally like bad and damaging. It is a 2002 car, so people, you know how they do the smog checks and everything, and sometimes it doesn't pass it. Well, if you put in like if you fix your car and you like, if you really need that car, you'll put the money into it that it needs to pass the smog check, whether it be fixing the parts that it needs to be fixed. In conclusion, I love my mom's car. I just hope she passes it down to me in the future. I don't have a car of my own, but I do not want to start with the new car. I want to start with the older one, like my mom's car, because I want to learn how to appreciate things. You know, it's a sentimental value because I don't know, like every time I'm in my mom's car, like we just have conversations to wherever we're gonna go, and it's nice. I feel like it's meant for me. I think she should just pass it down to me. And it's economical. I won't be wasting that much on gas. Thank you for listening to our panel presentation about our favorite forms of transportation and or vehicles, whether it be fictional or real. Thank you.
Hang on, I'm working on something. And this is a horse race. That's 7 people to go. Three-quarters of you have completed the poll. 6 more. Wow. About 4 more people maybe want to come in. All right, so we got 4 people who are off eating breakfast. And that's what it looks like, folks. So group 7, let's see. We can get at least one of you in today. Group 7, Angel, how you feeling about all this? You ready to go?
Yes, I guess I'll go. All right.
Give me a second. What's your last name? There you are. And let me find you over here. And I'm ready when you are.
All right, hold on. Fix my camera. Hi, I'm Angel, and today me and my group will be talking about staying active. So I will be talking about sports. Kristen will be talking about running. Julia will be talking about hiking. Kanani will be talking about yoga, and Caesar will be talking about the gym. So how I stay active throughout my daily life is sports. The sports I played throughout my life have been soccer and basketball. And obviously, and I will be talking about how both soccer and basketball can help you physically and mentally. So obviously, sports can help you physically, because when you're doing the sport, you're using your body and you're all this movement, which is running, diving for a ball, or going for a steal, for example. And obviously, and also, what many people also don't know probably is that it can also help you mentally, because when you're playing a sport, if it's something that you like, when you're focusing on sport, it helps you mentally because you're focusing on that one thing instead of other things that may be going through your daily life. So it helps you keep your mind off of things. So basically, it can also be therapeutic. And yeah, so that's it for me. And next will be Kristen for the next class. Thank you.
All right, folks, I'm thinking that's all we're going to be able to get in today. We should have no problem wrapping this up on Wednesday, and I will see you all then. Great speeches, really enjoyed them, and thank you so much. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, Professor.
Bye.
All right. Bye, Professor.
Bye.
Professor, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
For modules under the reviews panel presentations, we write the reviews for the groups we're reviewing, correct? Not our own group?
Yes.
Oh,
Not your own group this time. I'm trying to avoid people to having to review people right before, or right after they speak.
oh, okay.
That's all that is.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Yep. Just
Okay.
the
Thank you.
group I list for you.
Okay.
Sure. Have a good one.
Okay, thank you. You too, Professor.
Thank you.
Hi, Miss. I have one question as well. For the group reviews, like, do we all do a group review for the group, or like, is it okay? Like, or is the group leader supposed to do the group like
No.
review?
You all need to do them.
Okay. Okay, and then review everyone in the group, right?
You review everyone in the group that's on the whiteboard for you.
Okay.
Okay, where it says group 5 reviews group 2, group 1 reviews group 3, like that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.